I mean, shooting is a big part of it, but just leading. I mean, Rob has been through the grind of the Big Ten, and he knows the ins and outs of it. And he's a senior, so I expect him to lead. I mean, I don't have too many players like Rob that's been on this team that knows the team. And he can't live in the past. I'm just trying to break that pass and say, hey, man, here's the ball. It's okay to go lead. It's okay to be good, man. It really is.
Just to stay on Rob, obviously both he and X could tell, I'm sure, early on that they weren't going to be defended if they were going to shoot. What did you like about how they approached that? It seemed like Rob kind of took his time and was solid as far as the shots behavior as well. How did you think about how they handled the fact that they were going to get that much time to shoot the ball?
Well, I mean, I think it's great. I'm not telling them not to shoot. And Minnesota forced our hands in terms of shooting threes tonight, the way they sagged in, and they were just basically saying Trace and Race are not going to beat us. And when teams do that, our perimeter guys have got to be ready to step up and make shots. And I thought tonight they did a great job in that area.
Mike? Coach, when teams go 5 out on you and try to look for dribble drives, is that when you turn to X and Rob, and then also at the end of the game also Trey in there? Is that kind of your best defensive lineup against
Well,
that?
again, I mean, there's not a lot of teams that when you start playing two small guards, I mean, I gotta utilize my two small guards who both can defend off the dribble, and Trey, he defends off the dribble. He got beat a few times tonight, but hell, a lot of us got beat tonight, off the bounce. I mean, I thought that was a big part of their offense, and we didn't control it that well. And then when we did, we were really good defensively.
Yeah, for as well as you guys shot in the perimeter, that 10-0 run at the end of the game, it was 3 inside baskets to Race, I think one to Trace. Was that just kind of your bread and butter there at the end of the game, or did you see some mismatches to kind of exploit there in terms of how you guys pulled away?
The mismatch, they went small, and so I mean, if they're gonna play us small, we gotta spoon feed the ball, man, inside, and that's what we did. And Race had he had a guard basically guarding him, and he also had Battles guarding him too. So I was like, hey, let's just get it inside and make them stop us.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Race. You went to him when you were up 9 and called the 32nd timeout. Is that something you can do because he's not seeing the double like Trace is?
Yes, I mean, if you're not going to double him, I take my chances with Race. He can make plays. He's been working on his low post game, so I'm good with that if teams are going to play us that way.
Okay, Matt. Just over just the stat sheet shows here that Minnesota didn't make a shot in the last 3 minutes of the game. I guess what did you think of that defensive lineup that you had in? Was Rob, X, Trey, Trace, and Race at the end of the game?
I call it winning basketball. When it's not cutting time, you got to step up and make plays. I mean, they came back from being down as much as 10 and took the lead. And our defense really picked up after that. I mean, we had the lapse, and then we started to really pick it back up and play. And then coming down the home stretch those last 3-4 minutes, we were solid like we were at the end of the first half.
Woody, Xavier's had his ups and downs. Have you instilled the confidence in him, or is this something he's done, or is this something you've done for him, to him?
Man, I'm trying to give all these guys confidence, but I'm also still trying to coach them too, and that's a part of coaching. I mean, there's some tough love there. I'm tough on point guards. I've always been that way, man, but he's still learning, man. He's trying to figure me out. Rob is trying to figure me out, and tonight I thought both of them played extremely well, man, considering all the hollering and screaming I was doing over there.
Mike, you talked about defense all year long, but did you realize that it was as good as it is right now? It's one of the absolute best in the country. It's one of the best in the Big Ten, and I know that's where you want to be, but did you think that you were going to be there this soon?
Well, you never know. I mean, at the beginning, when we started this journey, man, I told them, hey, guys, and this is after I've done my homework from last year in the Big Ten and just in college basketball in general. You know, if you hold teams 60 and under, you're gonna give yourself a chance to win a lot of games, and they believe that. You know, I mean, and it's shown in our play since we've started the journey, and we just got to continue to grow and get better in that area.
Mike, perfect at home still, but now you're on the road for 2. The fact that you guys have kind of closed out these last couple of games pretty well, are you hoping that that part of that learning experience can help you now going forward to do the same on the road?
Yes, we got to break the ice, man, on the road. I think once we break through, man, you know, it'll open up a lot of these guys' hearts to know, you know, that we're here to play and compete in the Big Ten. I mean, but you got to win on the road too. You can't lose at home, but you got to figure out how to win on the road.
It was very clear that Minnesota didn't want Trace beating them. So what do you have to say about him being so unselfish and not being willing to force it and kind of dish it out to his guards?
Again, I mean, it's called trust, man. You know, and it's not going to be him every night when teams double team him. There's sometimes he's beaten double teams. And tonight they just packed it in, man. And hey, he made the correct passes coming out of the double teams, and guys benefited from it by making shots. And that's how we got to play, man. I mean, it's not no surprise. I mean, if I'm playing us, hell, I'm a double him too and get it out of his hands. So that's what teams are doing. And hey, he was patient. You know, when he had it, he made the play, and when he didn't have it, he sacrificed the ball, which we need.
Last question, Dustin.
Just to go back to X and Rob, I guess how well have you seen them kind of get used to the dynamic between them, the roles that they have, the splits of the minutes and whatnot, and who comes off the bench and who starts, and how important is that those guys have just bought into what they're each being asked to do?
Again, I mean, Rob, you know, I look at Rob, he never once complained that X was starting, going to be the starter. I brought him here from Pitt to start. That was never an issue with him. And for me, being his coach, that means a lot because, again, that means you buying into winning. You know, you all about team. Everybody can't start. I've always said, man, it ain't who starts, it's who's finished the game. And, you know, hell, he was on the floor at the end of the game making a big, you know, contribution to us winning the game tonight. And that's, hey, you can't ask for more. He's about team.